Hello everyone, welcome back to our SAP SD configurational series. So in today's session, we are going to understand one of the most important configuration transaction in SAP SD, which is VOV7, Define Item Category, or we can call it as Item Category Control. So before we start explaining each field, let's first understand what an item category actually is. So whenever we create a sales order such as sales order, quotation, contract, return order, so every line item is designed an item category. So this item category controls the complete behavior of that line item throughout the order to cash process. So it decides whether the item is relevant for delivery, billing, pricing, schedule lines, etc. Okay, so in simple words, if the sales document type controls the behavior of entire document, then the item category controls the behavior of each individual line item. So to define and modify an item category, SAP provides the transactional code, that is VOV7. Now let's understand every field one by one. Now here I have opened TAN. TAN we are using as a standard item category. Okay, TAN. So the first field is item category. Okay, this field is a unique key that identifies an item category. For example, TAN is a standard item category used for normal sales item. Similarly, TANN is used for free of charge item, TAS for third party processing, TAB for individual purchase order, REN for return, and so on. Okay, so each item category has its own configuration and controls a different business process. So if you change the item category, the system behavior for that line item also changes. Okay, now this one is a description. So this field simply describes the purpose of the item category. For example, the description for TAN is standard item. Okay, so this field is only for identification and documentation. It has no impact on sales order process. Okay, then business data. So in business data, first is a item type. This field first under the business data in item type. So this field is mainly used in SAP CRM and certain industry specific solutions. Okay, so in standard SAP SD implementation, this field is usually left blank because it does not affect the normal order to cash process. Now TAN is a standard item, so will kept as a blank. Next, completion rule. So this field tells SAP when an item should be considered complete. Okay, it is a mainly used for quotation and contract where deliveries and or releases happen over a period of time. Okay, so for standard sales order, this field is generally left blank because SAP automatically completes the item after the business process is finished. Next is a special stock. Okay, normally inventory is issued from unrestricted stock. Okay, however, in special scenarios such as sales order stock, project stock, consignment stock, SAP uses this special stock. So, this field tells SAP whether the item should use any special stock type. For standard item category TAN, this field usually left blank. Now, as you know, the in consignment process, stock will reduce from consignment stock, right? Instead of unrestricted stock. So this special stock is nothing but the it tells SAP whether the item should use any special stock or not. Then billing relevance. So this one is a most important field in VOV7. So this will control when an item becomes eligible for billing. So depending on the business process, billing can happen after delivery directly from the sales order or based on milestones. For example, in a standard sales process, billing is created only after PGI. Okay. In service scenarios, billing can be created directly from sales order. So if billing relevance is configured incorrectly, invoice creation may not be possible. So therefore, this field plays very important role in billing process. Next up, billing plan type. So this field is used when billing follows a predefined schedule instead of single invoice. Okay, it is commonly used for rental agreement or service contract, milestone billing. Okay, for standard item category like 10, this will generally left blank. Okay, only if there is milestone billing, then only we need to select this field, milestone, periodic, etc. Then billing block, this field automatically blocks the billing for a item. Okay, for the item, like we have seen, like in VOV8 also, there is one field billing block. Okay, so if we set the billing block there, then whole sales order for all sales order, this billing block will apply. But if we set this at item level, then item, for that particular item we cannot create a billing. Okay, means this is applicable for only single item. Okay, so until the billing block is removed, SAP will not allow the invoice creation. So this is useful when the business requires approval before the billing for customer. Then next is a pricing. Okay, so this will control whether SAP should determine pricing for the item. So if pricing is active, SAP calculates the price, discounts, freight, and taxes using the condition record. If pricing is inactive, the item will not have any pricing condition. Okay, so for standard item categories, pricing is normally active. If we set as no pricing, that pricing will not calculate. Okay, next one is a statistical value. So when this field is enabled, the value of the item is used only for reporting purposes. So it does not affect any accounting or financial posting. So this is commonly used for informational or free of charge item. Then next are revenue recognition. So this field is used when revenue should be recognized over a period of time instead of immediately. So it is mainly used in service based businesses and long term projects. Okay, so for standard sales order, this field is generally not used. Then delimit start date. So this field is mainly used for contract. Okay, so it helps to define a start date or validity period for contract processing. So in standard sales order, this field is generally left blank. Next, business item. Okay, so this checkbox tells SAP whether item is business relevant item or not. Okay, if the checkbox is selected, means SAP treats the item as a normal business item and allows it to participate in business processes such as pricing, delivery, billing, and reporting. For standard item categories like TAN, this checkbox is normally selected. Okay, so if it is not selected, then SAP treats the item as a non-business or informational item depending on the business scenario. Next one is a schedule line allowed. So one of the most important field in item category. Okay, so when this checkbox is selected, SAP creates a schedule line for the item. Okay, a schedule line contains information such as confirmed quantity, confirm delivery date, availability check, and good movement. So without a schedule line, SAP cannot determine stock availability or create a delivery. I have posted separate video for this as well. Okay, so for example, okay, if a customer orders 100 pieces and only 80 are available, the schedule line will confirm only 80 pieces with delivery date. Okay, so for standard item categories like 10, this checkbox is always selected. For text item or service items, it generally not required. Then item relevant for delivery. Okay, so this will control whether an item can be included in an outbound delivery. If this checkbox is selected, means SAP allows the item to appear in delivery document. If it is not selected, then the item remains only in the sales order and no delivery can be created. Like for example, a material item is delivery relevant, whereas a text item is not. Okay, so therefore for TAN, this checkbox is normally selected. Then returns. So this checkbox identifies the item category as a return item. So in standard sales process, goods move from the company to the customer. Okay, so in return process, the movement is exactly the opposite. Okay, goods are received back from the customer into the company's inventory. So selecting this checkbox changes the business logic accordingly. So for standard item category 10, the checkbox remains the unchecked. Like if it is if item categories for returns are AN, then normally we need to select this checkbox. Then we have weight and volume relevant. So when this checkbox is selected, SAP considers the material's weight and volume during the delivery processing. So this information is used in transportation planning, packing, shipment planning, and freight calculation. Okay. So for physical product, this field is generally selected. For text or service item, it is usually left unchecked. Then credit active. So this field determines whether the value of the item should be included in customer's credit check. So if this checkbox is selected, SAP considers the item value while checking the customer's available credit limit. Okay. For example, if a customer's credit limit is 5 lakh and this sales order exceeds that limit, then SAP may automatically block the order for credit approval. Okay. So for standard item categories like TAN, this checkbox is generally selected. Then determine cost. This field tells SAP whether it should calculate the cost of the material. The calculated cost is used for profitability analysis, margin calculation, and internal reporting. Okay, like for example, if the selling price is 1000 and the material cost is 700, then SAP calculates a profit margin of 300. Okay, if this checkbox is not selected, then SAP will not determine the item's cost. For standard sales item, this field is normally selected. Then in general control, first field is automatic batch determination. So when this checkbox is selected, SAP automatically determines the appropriate batch for batch managed material based on configured batch search strategy. For example, in pharma or food industries, different batches may have different manufacturing and expiry dates. Okay, instead of manually selecting the batch, SAP automatically proposes the correct one. Okay, if batch management is not used in business, this will generally left unchecked. Then RBA control, that is relevant for batch allocation. Okay, so this field is mainly used in advanced batch allocation and specific industry solutions. So it controls batch allocation behavior for the item. So in most standard SAP SD implementations, this field is not used and remain blank. Then next is rounding permitted. So when this checkbox is selected, SAP allows quantity rounding based on the rounding rules maintained in the system. For example, if product is sold only in cartons of 10 and the customer orders 97 pieces, SAP can automatically round the quantity to 100 pieces. If rounding is not permitted, SAP keeps the exact quantity entered by the customer. Then order quantity 1. When this checkbox is selected, SAP allows only one unit of item in the sales order. So if the user enters the quantity greater than 1, then the system displays an error or warning based on the configuration. So this field is mainly used for products such as software license, warranties, or unique equipment that can be only be ordered once. Okay. Then transaction flow section. Okay, this field in this section controls additional processing for the item such as incompletion procedure, partner function, text determination, status management, etc. Although these fields are not used every day to day by end users, they play an important role in a system behaviors. Okay, like incompletion procedure, first field is incompletion procedure. So this field tells SAP which fields are mandatory for item category. So if a mandatory field is missing, SAP identifies the document as incomplete and prevents further processing based on incompletion setting. For example, okay, if the plant or requested delivery date is mandatory and the user forgets to enter it, okay, then SAP displays the missing field in the incompletion log. So this helps ensure that incomplete sales documents are not processed further. In most projects, standard item categories like TAN use an incompletion procedure. Okay, here we haven't maintained any incompletion procedure, but if we maintain this incompletion procedure, then if any field we haven't maintained in the sales order, system will not allow to save. Okay, it will show in incompletion logs. Okay, next one is a partner determination procedure. So this field controls which partner functions are allowed at item level. So normally partners such as sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, payer are determined at a header level. So however, some business scenarios require different partners for specific line items. So for example, okay, if one item in a sales order is delivered to the different customer location, the item partner determination procedure controls that behavior. Okay, so if item level partners are not required, this field is generally left blank. Next one is a text determination procedure. So this field controls which texts are automatically copied or maintained for the item. Examples include material description, delivery instruction, or instruction, internal loads, or customer remarks. So, for example, if a material has special handling instruction in the material master, SAP can automatically copy those instructions into the sales order item. So this reduces manual effort and ensures important information is available throughout the sales process. Okay, while creating sales order, there is one text tab, right? So if we maintain this, then system will automatically copy this instruction. Okay, so it reduces the manual effort. Then item category statistical group. So this will controls how the item is updated in the SAP statistical report. So the information used for sales reporting analytics and the sales information system. So although it does not affect any order processing directly, okay, it is important for generating accurate business report. Okay, then screen sequence group. So this will controls the screen layout displayed for the item category. So based on this setting, SAP decide which tabs and fields should appear on the item detail screen. Like if we double click on any article, we can see the item level data. Okay, so this will control that screen layout in short. Like for example, a service item may display different screen compared to the standard material item because the required information is different. Okay, so this field helps SAP to display appropriate screens according to business scenario. Next one is a status profile. So this field is used to assign user-defined statuses to the item. The status profile helps control business activities based on item's current status. For example, an item can have statuses such as under review, approved, rejected, right? So depending on the assigned status, SAP can allow or restrict certain transactions. So this functionality is mainly used in projects with customized approval processes. We can see in Vivo V8 as well, like this status profile. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, Vivo V8, when we set that status profile, so whenever we are using that order type, it will applicable for whole sales order. Now, if I have maintained an item category controls, then for particular line item only, it will show the statuses like under review, approval, rejected. Once it is approved, then only it will proceed further. Otherwise, it will not proceed further. Okay, so this one is applicable for particular line items. Then create PO automatically. So this checkbox is mainly used for third party process like TAS. For third party, generally standard item category is TAS. Okay, if it is customized, then it will start with Z or Y, ZTAS or Y TAS, etc. So generally this mainly used for third party process only. So when this option is selected, SAP automatically creates a purchase requisition after the sales order is saved. So the purchasing team can then convert that purchase requisition into purchase order for the vendor. For example, if your company does not keep stock and directly procures the material from vendor, so after receiving the customer order, this will help to automate the procurement process. So as we know, for standard item categories like TAN, this checkbox remains unchecked because purchase requisition or PO is not creating in the standard sales order. So it is applicable only for third party process or dedicated scenario, etc. So that completes the transaction flow section of the item category. Now, bill of material. Now let's move to the bill of material or configurational section. So these fields are mainly used for variant configuration and bill of material scenarios. So if your business deals with configurable products such as cars, computer or customized machine, so this field become important. Okay, so for standard material like tan, most of this field remain blank only, but still we'll understand this each field. Okay, so first one is a configurational strategy. So this field tells SAP how configurable material should be processed during the sales order creation. So it determines the configuration process that SAP should follow for item category only. For example, okay, if customer is ordering a customized laptop and want to choose the processor, like RAM, storage, okay. So SAP uses the configurational strategy to determine how those characteristics will be processed. For standard material, this will generally left blank. Okay, I will post one video related to variant configuration as well, where we can see this one. Okay. So as mentioned earlier, this one is only for bill of material or variant configuration. We are using this field. Then material variant action. So this field controls how SAP should behave after configuration is complete. So SP can either continue with configurable material or automatically determine a material variant based on the characteristics selected by the customer. Okay. For example, if the customer selects a red card with automatic transmission, so SAP can automatically replace the configurable material with matching material variant. Okay. So this field is mainly used in variant configuration. Then ATP material variant. So ATP stands for availability to available to promise. So this field tells SAP whether the availability check should be performed on material variant instead of configurable material. So for example, after configuration, SAP checks stock for the exact variant selected by the customer, ensuring accurate stock confirmation. So for normal materials, this field is usually not required. Then structure scope. So this will control how SAP should process the bill of material structure. So it determines which level of product structure should be considered during the sales processing. For example, if a machine consists of several components, okay, structure scope controls whether SAP processes only the main item or includes all components. So for standard materials, this field is generally left blank. Then application, inventory management, plant maintenance, costing. So this field specifies the application used for variant configuration. So it helps SAP to identify which configuration logic should be applied during the processing. So in most standard SAP SD implementation, this field left blank. Then propagate profit segment. Okay, so this will control whether the profitability segment, also known as a COPA profit segment, should be copied from main item to its sub items. Okay, this mainly used in configurable product and bomb scenarios where profitability needs to be tracked consistently across all components. So for standard sales item, this field usually not used. Then variant matching. This field tells SAP whether it should search for an existing material variant that matches the customer's selected characteristic. If matching variant is already exist, SAP uses that material instead of creating the new one. So this helps to avoid duplicate material variant and improves data consistency. Then next is a create delivery group. So when this checkbox is selected, SAP automatically creates a delivery group or related item. Okay, sorry, this one is not a checkbox. Here we can see do not form delivery group with one delivery. So it ensures that all linked items are delivered together. Okay, for example, if machine consists of motor, controller, accessories, and the business may want to deliver everything together only when all components are available. This field helps to achieve the requirement. Okay, like in short, it controls. Like here you can see, first one is a delivery group with corrected schedule lines, delivery group with correlated schedule lines. So it so delivery group helps to correlate the, or it is nothing but the controls, or it nothing but the controls which ensures that all linked items are delivered together. So generally this create delivery group, we are not maintaining anything. So here we can see, like if there is a do not form delivery groups, it will not create any delivery group. Form delivery group only one delivery date, so it will create, or it will propose only one delivery date, like this. Okay, then next one is a manual alternative. This field allows the user to manually select an alternative component during the configuration. So for example, if two different motors can be used in a machine, then the sales user can manually choose the required one. So this provides flexibility during the variant configuration. Next one is a parameter effectiveness. So this field used in advanced variant configuration. So it allows SAP to determine product configuration based on specific parameter or conditions. For example, certain product features may be valid only during the particular period or for specific customers. So this will suppose such advanced business scenarios and is rarely used in standard SAP SD projects. Next, now let's move to the value contract section. So these fields are used only for value contract item categories. Okay, first one is value contract material. So this field specifies the material that represents the value contract. Unlike a quantity contract, whether a customer agrees to a purchase a fixed quantity, a value contract is based on total contract value. For example, a customer signs a contract worth rupees 20 lakh and can purchase different product until that value is fully utilized. So this field is used only in value contract processing. Next one is a contract release control. So this field controls how SAP updates the contract value whenever a release order is created. For example, if customer creates a release order worth rupees 5 lakh against the value contract of 20 lakh, okay, then SAP automatically reduces the remaining contract value to rupees 15 lakh. Okay, so for standard item categories like tan, this field generally left blank. Then service management. Okay, so these field are mainly used in service management and report processing. Okay, so repair procedure. So this field controls how SAP should process repair related items. So it determines the repair process that should be followed for item category. Like for example, when a customer sends a damaged product for repair, SAP uses the repair procedure to manage the repair cycle. So for standard sales item, this field is generally left blank. Then billing profile, in control resource related billing form. So this will control how resource related billing should be carried out. Okay, it determines the billing behavior for resource related billing based on the business requirement. So this field is mainly used in the resource related billing only and is not required for standard material sales. Then DIP profile. So it stands for Dynamic Item Processor. So it tells SAP how actual costs such as labor charges, travel expenses, material consumption should be converted into the billing item. For example, if a service engineer spends 8 hours at a customer site and incurs travel expenses, okay, then SAP uses the DIP profile to determine how those costs should appear on the customer invoice. So for standard sales item categories, this field is generally left blank. Next one is a mill product enhancement. So finally, this one is the last field. So these fields are used in industries such as steel, aluminium, paper, and metal manufacturing. They support industry specific business processes related to dimension, weight, manufacturing characteristics, etc. So most SAP SD implementation do not use these fields. Okay, so they are generally left blank only. If your organization has not implemented the SAP mill product solution, you normally do not need to maintain this field. So with this, we have completed the VOV7, that is define item category configuration. So we discussed every section of the item category, understood the purpose of each field and its business impact and where it is used in real-time scenario. So a good understanding of VOV7 is essential because the item category controls almost every important function of the sales document item, including delivery, billing, pricing, schedule line, cost determination, contract, service processing, and variant configuration. Okay, so that's all about today's video. So some important fields are item category, billing relevance, special stock, return, business item, schedule light allowed, or credit active, pricing, statistical. These fields are very important. Okay, so that's all about today's session. Thanks for watching video and stay tuned.